Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Sunday. This is the Woo Report, episode 158, titled Devils Need More Beef Up Front. I'm your host, Sam Woo, streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Oh, let's go. We got a quadruple header Sunday. Woo Report is on now. Game day live, 2 p.m. Eastern after the game. I don't even know what time. 5:45 p.m. Eastern. Devils After Dark and the Sunday edition of the Let's Go Devils podcast at 9 p.m. Eastern. Oh, do we want more beef, especially today as the Devils take on the Washington Capitals? Yes, the Washington Capitals that have Alexander Ovechkin, Nicholas Backstrom, Tom Wilson, that pest Tom Wilson, Carlson, who should be on the New Jersey Devils. I don't know how they let him go in the draft years ago. But the New Jersey Devils, your New Jersey Devils, are on a 2-game winning streak after hitting the reset button. And I talked about our New Year's resolutions on pucksandpitchforks.com. Also, I'm going to have an article coming out about why Tom Fitzgerald is the Devils' best asset as a leader. Should be coming out later today or tomorrow. Check out that. And also check out my blog on hockeybuzz.com. Put one out about today's game. Because I'll tell you, the Devils are going to need some beef today. Because the Capitals are a bigger team, veteran team, top of the Metropolitan Division. They have a 26-7-6 record with 47 points. Again, like I said, Devils have won 2 straight, coming off an impressive victory over the Edmonton Oilers in overtime. Jack Hughes, 6 points in his last 2 games. Yes, Jack Hughes is starting to get red hot. Jack Hughes has recovered from his shoulder dislocation injury when he played the Seattle Kraken in the second game of the season. Took a little time to get his legs back. But Jack Hughes is now starting to look dominant out on the ice. And how will they do against the Washington Capitals? Well, here are some of the key performance indicators we all known as KPIs. Number 1, the Devils' penalty kill on special teams has done a lot better. Looking at the NHL rankings, they are now ranked number 14th. Remember when they were dead last in the league in the first 5 games of the season? That has improved. Nasreddine should get a lot of credit. Alain Nasreddine, who is now filling in for Lindy Ruff, who is in the COVID-19 protocol, he should get a lot of credit because we were critical of why the penalty kill is not working. New players, same system. Okay, the Devils have figured this thing out. The last time the Devils have been scored on the penalty kill was December 16th against the Vegas Golden Knights, and I thought that goal was a little bit iffy there. All right, so but the Capitals, surprisingly, even with the Alexander Ovechkin, are ranked 28th in the league. 28th in the league with a 15.2%. If you like those stats, 15.2% success rate. So I think the Devils, given the trends right now, and the Capitals, have been 1 for 15 on the man advantage in the last 3 games. So I think I give the edge to the Devils there on special teams, on the penalty kill. But on the power play, the Devils are starting to heat up. They scored power play goals in the last 2 games since the reset. What's the difference maker? I think it's Nathan Bastian. He will not show up on the stat sheet, but Nathan Bastian is screening the goaltender. It doesn't matter how big, how small, how good the goaltender is. Nathan Bastian has a lot of humanity up front, and that's what we call beef. We want more beef up front. Because I was looking at some film the other day, the last two games of New Jersey Devils, and we've seen enough in the last, prior to the 6 weeks of debacle of losing. And I'll tell you the net front presence, as what Omar Ba is saying in the in the Facebook Live. The difference right now is it's more than just big bodies, okay? It's also technique. And I want to have a one-day bring shorts guy, our resident goaltender expert on the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Woo Report about what annoys the goalies the most. How can you be a pest without getting a penalty in the NHL? And the one thing that I noticed about Nathan Bastian being on the power play right now is he is nonchalantly making them trying to look around him. His positioning is very good when he gets in front of the net, and his positioning is very good where he could be an offensive threat in front of the net. Just give it some time. And I did mention this. I forgot who. I think it was on Devils After Dark, or was it? No, it was with Vinny Parisi on Game Day Live, that I think Bastian has potential to be a 20-goal scorer in the NHL. And don't laugh at me now, but if he continues to have that physical presence in front of the net, where he is going to cause chaos when the goalie cannot find the puck, plus he's a big body, plus he's a little bit of nastiness up front, you can score many goals that way. And also Jack Hughes needs to continue his shoot first mentality because he's a better player that way. Why? Because as a defender, if you're going against Jack Hughes, somebody that is slippery good, that can avoid hits, that can skate right by you, how can you put a body on him when he's skating right by you? But if he has a shoot first mentality, you have to respect that, and that frees up his line mates. They will get some opportunities to score some goals. Shoot first also means getting assists because, heck, the way they do it in the NHL, if Jack Hughes is on the left slot area and winds up, takes a quick shot on net, there's a big juicy rebound, and everybody has been committed on Jack Hughes, it's going to free up his line mates, and boom, most oftentimes in the high danger area, in the slot, you will score goals. Omar Boss says Jack is a 100 points player, referred to as USA development stats. Don't need to. I like what I'm watching, but good point, though. Corbin writes, need to improve our goals against. Giving up 4 or 5 a game isn't going to end good long term. That is true, Corbin. That is true, but one at a time. There were a lot of fixes that needed to be made by the New Jersey Devils. First started off, remember what I was talking about. Who's to blame here? Who's to blame for this debacle of the 6 weeks between November 20th to December 20th? Was it the coaches? A lot of fans were chanting fire Recchi, fire Ruff, get rid of Nazardine. We're all guilty of it. Don't tell me you weren't. Although I did say that I had confidence in the coaches. I just couldn't figure out why they couldn't figure it out. And I was giving some hints on the Woo Report. Trade some players, we heard. A lot of us were playing nuclear football. And guess who I was asking for to help? I was actually asking leadership, going from the ownership group. But instead, we had Tom Fitzgerald on December 20th at an impromptu press conference talking about hit the reset button. The blame lies the guys in the room, but they're also the solution. That he reinforced it himself when he said the answers are the players in the locker room playing for the guy right next to you, in front of you. Stuff that I originally thought was garbage. But then he said, hey, they are the solution. They are the answers. And that's leadership right there. Coaching staff made the adjustments. They had a couple practice times during their, after they were allowed to practice again, and now they're off to a good start. Let's see that, be consistent, and let's see if that will last to the NHL All-Star break. But I don't want the Devils to get down if they lose this game, because this is a big game. This is a Metropolitan Division game, but you're going against a team that has a lot of beef, a lot of veteran leadership, has a lot of speed, and also has had a lot of success against you. Devils haven't won a regular season game against the Capitals since February 22nd, 2020, before the NHL pause. But that may change today because it's a new year. The reset button has been hit. The minds are cleared of the past. It is a happy Devil Sunday. Steve Tardis makes a good point. Today is a better measuring stick. Sabres were depleted, and the Edmonton is run and gun. Or as what some people say, fun and gun, because it's fun watching Connor McDavid. Watching him skate, watching him score, but also watching Jack Hughes score the game-winning goal. Bastion had to keep an eye on Wilson's nastiness, says Michael Hay. I think everybody does. And don't discount Jesper Bratt. Other than the first few games of the season, he has been really the Devils' MVP throughout the season. Not saying that Jack Hughes couldn't be the MVP, but I'll tell you, Jesper Bratt kept the team together. He's been valuable, keeping the team afloat. But now it's time for him and Jack Hughes to take over. Andres Janssen looking to break out of his pointless streak. Actually, he got 2 assists the last game. Could he be starting to heat up? How about Kolkinen and Sharon Govich? Could they be heating up? Joey Giardina says Gearston should shine today if it gets nasty. Not sure if he's going to be in the lineup, Joey. Also, speaking of lineups, taxi squads, Alexander Holtz has been added. Also, Nolan Foote has been added as well. We talked about beef. This is what the podcast is about today. We want more beef. And beef is good. Beef is good. And you know what? I like the process-oriented approach that Tom Fitzgerald has done. He's got big goaltenders to see over players so they can look for the puck. And he also beefed up on defense. We talked about how much beef there is on the defense. The Twin Towers of Dougie Hamilton and Ryan Graves. Who, by the way, the defense, hasn't been really spoken. And Scotty pointed this out on Devils After Dark. Yes, that's Scotty, a SiriusXM Liquid Metal. That the defense is starting to get involved offensively for the New Jersey Devils. And now it's starting to become a team concept. It doesn't feel like it's 3-on-5 when the Devils are in the opposition's side of the ice in the offensive zone. Does it? And look how quick the shots are getting. I can't say this enough. How quickly are the Devils getting the shots on net? No hesitations. If you take the no hesitation shots, you're going to get chances. Why? Because if you hold on to the stick too long, the puck too long, and you're holding tightly on your stick, the puck will never get in the net. What's the point? But if you put it up on net, doesn't matter. Don't look for the perfect shot. Don't look for the perfect pass. Just get it on net and swarm. Swarm the Washington Capitals goaltender. It will be a fine day. And a happy Devils After Dark recap of the game that was. And also we got Let's Go Devils podcast Sunday edition tonight. You know, if the Devils win, suddenly Beer Baron and Shorts Guy are going to show up and get very giddy, as Beer Baron and Shorts Guy are now officially on the Let's Go Devils podcast taxi squad. I'm not sure if they even know that, but hey, we all have a little fun here. Donnell Weaver writes, wow, made two great points. Devils need to make a statement against the Capitals. It feels like they haven't beaten them like forever. Yes, Donnell, since February 22nd, 2020. Also, he says Devils need to shut down Ovi. Don't let him get the one-timer for a goal. Couldn't agree with you more, Donnell. But also, I liked my strategy, and I want to hear you guys think about the strategy. You know, my strategy when I said that, you know, in order to stop Connor McDavid, you really just can't. But you can stop everybody else. And that kind of mindset, look, and that kind of mindset is good, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because you never should get down if Ovi scores. He's scored so many times in this league, it's bound to happen. But can you minimize and mitigate the collateral damage when he does score, when it could be a momentum changer, game changer of the game? And you know what? Ovi's going to be Ovi. Tom Wilson's going to be Tom Wilson. But I'm okay with that as long as the Devils be the New Jersey Devils, the way they have been playing lately in the last two games. Steve Darter says 4 points out of an 8th seed. I haven't checked the standings because to me that's irrelevant. I'm taking a game by game approach, especially with the podcast. I don't look that far ahead, but it's good to know. It's good to know they're still in it, and I've said that they're still in it. Why? Because they've only played 32 games so far. There's 50 games left of this NHL season. There's still plenty of time to make up for lost time. If you don't believe me, look at the St. Louis Blues that one year. What, dead last in the league and go out and win the Stanley Cup when the organization has never won the cup? Think about it. Anything can happen in today's NHL. Anything can happen in today's NHL. Richard says we need to stop allowing 4, 5, 6 goals a game. I said this on Devils After Dark. I completely agree with you. Some of the goals that the Edmonton Oilers had and even the Buffalo Sabres had, these were all correctable issues defensively that the Devils have. One thing that they haven't been consistent on, they did show some signs of improvement parts of the year, but they need to get back to it. Can you learn how to clear the puck? I mean, my goodness, how many times do we see the Devils clear the puck and they're very nonchalant about it, and somehow it just is a turnover in their own zone and suddenly the other team scores? You can even make the argument, which should have been a play stoppage, when Dougie Hamilton cleared that puck. Should have been the whistle blown, but surprise, surprise, he cleared it to an Edmonton Oiler who then, takes a shot and then somehow skips by Jack Hughes, and then they scored to make it 5-4 the last game. No harm, no foul. I mean, the Devils wound up winning the game in overtime thanks to Dougie Hamilton taking a quick shot at the point. Nathan Bastian in front of the goaltender for that game-tying goal. And, oh, by the way, Jack Hughes in overtime taking over. The players, the marquee players of the team, Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, Dougie Hamilton, they got to make plays. They got to make plays. They are the leaders of the team. They got to make plays. And then it's suddenly others start to make plays, like Sharon Govich, like Kokkonen, getting on the score sheet last game. But that's just one game. But you got to give Devils credit. Last two games, total of 10 goals. 5 goals a game pace. Can they maintain that? Probably not. And that's why we have to play better defense. The Devils have to play better defense and not get pushed around, which hence leads to my argument of getting more beef. Beef up front, a lot of beef on defense. But let's fill out this whole team. Let's give Jack Hughes some room to operate. Let's give Nico Hischier a break. Seeing Nico Hischier defend his own teammates, leading as a captain, he can't do it all himself. Jesper Bratt, he's a leader. We need to see Pavel Zacha's beef out in the ice. We need to see him use his body more. He's been somewhat invisible at times. We need to see more of Zacha. We need to see more of these players contribute. Contribute. I haven't got the latest COVID-19 protocol list. I know Jimmy Vesey is on there. They're going to be missing him. Obviously, Miles Wood hasn't been around all year since his surgery, since his injury in preseason. But the Devils have enough beef. We'll find out what the lineup is like very soon. We'll go over that on Game Day Live. I think the Devils have a presser at 1 p.m. Eastern. So we'll go on live at 2 p.m. Eastern, Game Day Live. And also after the game, approximately about 5:45 p.m. Eastern, Devils After Dark, Scotty at SiriusXM, Liquid Metal, and I will recap the game that was. Also, a lot of football going on today, so it was a lot of channel surfing. I'll be eating some beef, maybe a little pork. I'll eat some pork later. You know why? Because we're in the nation's capital. A lot of pork. Pork. Anyway. Yeah. So, also, let's see. Matt Lachlan, I'll retweet this out, put out about noon today that while our digital platform heard on many platforms, there's only one way to hear the entire broadcast, including the pregame and postgame show. Join Chico Resch and me at this link for every Devils game. Yeah, you know what? Every once in a while, go to NHL.com or whatever, go on the app or whatever. Listen to Devils Hockey Network. I love listening to Chico. I love, Kanji and Danico. Sometimes I multitask and I listen to both at the same time. Sometimes it's a little weird. Sometimes I even get the away team feed as well, just to get a different perspective. But yeah, tonight or today, this afternoon game, 3 p.m. Eastern start, Devils Capitals, and we'll have you covered throughout the day. A lot of sports going on. It's the second day of the new year of 2022. It's going to be a good one, folks. It's going to be a good one. And expect pain. Expect drama. And that's why we love hockey. Also, in other news, before we go, want to just give a big props and shout out to Nadia, the person that was wearing the Seattle Kraken's jersey and is a Vancouver Canucks fan that went to the game on the Kraken's first ever regular season home opener, spotting a potentially cancerous mole on the Vancouver Canucks assistant equipment manager, felt the need to let him know at the right moment. She wrote something on her phone and showed the assistant equipment manager, which he looked at briefly. Read the story. Go to Vancouver Canucks Twitter account. Check out the link. They put out the other day, or I think yesterday or the day before, trying to find this woman, because it turned out that mole that she was concerned about turned out to be malignant and that is now taken care of. It's a heartwarming story, especially during a time, uncertain times with this pandemic and everything that's gone on in the last 2 years. It obviously restores my faith in humanity. It also tells me that hockey fans are the best fans, the most close-knit, engaging community that you will ever find. And it showed that, even during the chaotic Vancouver Canucks Seattle Kraken game, that somebody was nice enough to take the time and brave enough to take the time to let that person know to get it checked out, Nadia, who just got accepted in few medical schools, I think is a great story. It's a great story, and she is now officially, I don't care what happens this year, the 2022 NHL Fan of the Year. And I hope they do something for her at the NHL Awards ceremony in Vegas this year. I think it's in Vegas this year. You never know nowadays. And yeah, and I hope so. Also, I hope to hear from Pete Maggio. I called him out. I didn't call him out, but I let him know I have an assignment for him to absolutely, positively annoy the 13 Caps fans that are going to the game with him, that he's driving from Ocean City, Maryland. And he's a Devils fan, and I gave him an assignment to absolutely annoy them throughout the game. And even if the Devils are losing 5-0, you still annoy them. And I want him to report back what happened. Hopefully we will get that on Devils After Dark or Let's Go Devils Podcast, 9 p.m. Sunday edition. But I issue assignments here because, hey, we got to get rowdy. We got to get rowdy as Devils fans. It's a new year. You got to think positively, but also be realistically. And like Tom Fitzgerald, you got to hold people accountable. And that's what, as fans, that's what we have to do. Anyway, Richard says Bastion is a stud up front. Yep. Keep moving those feet. Keep moving those skates, Nathan. You want to make the goalie move and hesitate. Also, Peter in the Facebook Live says, question, is this team soft? Well, we'll get our answer today. Or our answer in the next few months. Let's see how they respond against the Washington Capitals, who have beaten them many, many, many times. I believe it's like 9 straight already, dating back to last season. So let's see what the Devils can do. They had some close ones in 2021, beating the Capitals. But right now, the reset button's hit. Let's see how they are doing. Also, yes, the All-Star game is in Las Vegas this season. Oh, so I'm assuming, thank you, Donnell. So, yes, the All-Star game and also I believe the award ceremony is also going to be in Vegas. All right, well, that's enough for me. Enjoyed all the sporting events today. Devils take on the Capitals at 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back for Game Day Live at 2 p.m. Eastern. Vinny Parisi and I will preview the game. And also, 2 more Devils After Dark and Let's Go Devils Podcast Sunday edition later tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. Oh, yeah, baby. It's Devils hockey. We're back. LFGD, says Joey Giardina. LGD. Hashtag Let's Go Devils. Hashtag LGD. Follow us on our Twitter page at Let's Go Devils Pod. Check out my blogs on pucksandpitchforks.com and hockeybuzz.com. This is the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.